Hey, what's up? Morning, everyone. So, 2026 is upon us, and I put out on the 1st of January a post that spoke about how frankly terrible the Christmas period was, um, and sort of faced up to the fact that I'm the father of a kid with special needs. Obviously, I have been for years. And I've spoken about it here and there, but I've tried to not let that be the thing that defines me. But something that became very clear over the December period was that it is a defining thing in life, and no amount of pretending makes it go away, no amount of wishful thinking alleviates it. I am the father of a kid with special needs. He needs us, it's special care, he needs intervention and safeguarding that go well beyond what a neurotypical child does. And it's hard. So I've had to face up to the fact that this is dominating life, at least for this season. We seem to be in a season where his dysregulation of his emotions and his behavior, which are not his fault, by the way, he's not being naughty. He's not being willfully difficult as such. He has sensory issues, and from what I've learned and what I've looked into, those sensory issues overwhelm and completely shut him down. And then he is wild. So his outbursts, his so-called tantrums, are not him being naughty. Gone are the days where kids like this would just be labeled as troubled, whatever. We understand better now what's actually going on. And so we have to face the fact that it needs us. This is quite dominating this season of our lives. What that means for me is over and above my day job that I do to keep the roof over my heads, food on the table, etc., etc. With my ambitions in the health and wellness space, I cannot, for this particular season of my life, be the high-performing executive who is helping other high-performing executives achieve what they want to achieve with their metabolic health. Because in this season of my life, I'm not the high-performing executive. The father of a kid with special needs, struggling to meet his needs, make sure that he is well provided for, whilst also trying to take care of myself. I have, over the past few months, not been able to invest in my own health the way that I like to. I have not been able to keep up with things, and as a result, my health is suffering. I had a nasty bug over Christmas. I usually don't get sick, and if I do get sick, it lasts a couple of days, and then it's gone. This really set in. A secondary infection then set in. I needed, of course, antibiotics to clear the secondary infection. I'm on the mend now, but man, it shows. The second that you're unable to invest consistently to your own metabolic health, your health starts to decline, become more vulnerable, become less well managed, if I could put it that way. Your moods become unstable, you become short-tempered, irritable. You feel the pressure of life. It feels like situations which are stressful. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stressful stuff going. Legitimately stressful. It's not small things. But my ability to manage those stressful situations in the midst of these meltdowns and stuff like that, like my ability to manage that well is definitely compromised. I can feel that. And so, given that I cannot be the high-performing executive helping other high-performing executives achieve their metabolic health goals, at least for this season in my life, and in line with that post that I put out on January 1st, I am going to be the father of a kid with special needs who helps parents of children with special needs, other parents of children with special needs, to look after themselves emotionally, and in terms of metabolic health, because that is massively important. It's so easy. It's so easy. As the parent of a kid with special needs, it's so easy to just feel wiped out, to have no get up and go, to have no desire to go do that walk, to go do that workout, to cook that home cooked meal that is nutritious and healthy. It's so easy to just do the convenient things, the things that don't take much effort, the things that don't take much time. To sit on the couch and veg and watch TV, doom scroll on the phone when you have some time to yourself, because you just don't feel like you have the mental capacity to do much else. And that's genuine. You are genuinely wiped out. You're genuinely emotionally exhausted. And that manifests itself as physical exhaustion as well, because the idea of going and doing a workout, that feels like punishment rather than reward. But knowing what I know, especially learning about the field of metabolic psychiatry, metabolic psychology, I understand that my ability to be the man that I need to be, to the degree that I need to be in, is directly influenced and directly contingent upon my metabolic health. If my metabolic health is suffering, my ability to be the man that my family needs me to be is suffering. And in turn, then they are suffering. And that's an unfair consequence for them. It seems like doing the easy, convenient thing is a short-term win. Then maybe that's a good way to frame it. Maybe it feels like instead of getting that workout in, you're going to just take that afternoon, sit down and doom scroll and do your own thing, because that's your short-term win. You just need that time to yourself. Fine. The problem is that becomes the habit. That becomes every time. It becomes the thing that you do consistently, and the stuff that you need to do consistently, the workouts, the home-cooked meals, the good sleep, all of the things that you need to prioritize for your own health and well-being go to the sideline, and they become the things that you never do or do very seldomly. And so I want to take what I know and I want to work with my team, Dr. Sims, Dr. Bissessar, and Joel, and I want us to use our ecosystem concept to serve parents of children with special needs. We're not serving the children themselves. We're not giving anything that is going to directly benefit the children. So our focus is not the children. There's a ton of great stuff out there, and every single parent of a kid with special needs should be working with the professionals available to them in their space and in their area to have that hands-on, face-to-face help and intervention. We have that with our son. We're definitely getting him the support that he needs. But there's almost nothing out there to support us. So, and you'll notice I don't talk about my wife a lot on this, and I'll just address it very quickly. My wife is an incredibly private person. We've had these conversations. I enjoy putting myself out here in the public space and enjoy trying to use my platform to educate and help others, because that gets me out of bed, and it's what drives me. My wife is an incredibly private person. She doesn't want her private life. So I won't talk about her much, if at all. And that's the reason why. So if it may seem like I'm a single parent, not. I've got a fantastic, wonderful, beautiful wife who is bearing the brunt of most of us. She's the primary caregiver. She is the favorite with the kids. They absolutely love her to bits. Her son will follow her around like a shadow to the point where she starts almost losing her mind, because he can't be that one. Such a mama's boy, and it's brilliant. He has the best mother. It's fantastic. So please, when I speak about all this, I'm talking from the perspective of myself, because I've agreed with my wife that I'm not sharing much about her. She doesn't want herself in the public space. And that's why. So there's almost nothing out there to support the parents. So there's very little available to support. I really have to go out of my way and pay a lot of money to try and find something that supports me. My emotional well-being is a key priority, of course, but I know, understanding the field of metabolic psychiatry, metabolic psychology, I understand that my emotional well-being is directly contingent on metabolic well-being. The metabolic well-being underpins it. And a very quick analogy that I've used before is you could think of yourself as a computer. You have your mind, your willpower, yourself, your being, so to speak. That is your software. But your software has to run on a biological interface. You have hardware, so to speak. That is your physical body. It's the cells of your physical body. Willpower, mind, your desire, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to frame you as your ability to think of consciousness, that has to run over a biological interface. They're not separate things, they're intrinsically entwined. And if your biological interface is compromised, you can have the most fantastic software in the world. It's not going to run right. It's not going to run properly. It's going to be compromised in turn. For me, that means that the biological well-being, metabolic health, is the foundational thing. That is the thing that needs to be invested in, first and foremost, because it's the thing that enables and empowers the well-being of my consciousness, my emotions, my spirit, being, will. That's my heart. Now, maybe you don't agree with that, but have a think about it. I can't will myself out of being sick. It doesn't work. I can't, and I'm talking mentally. So a depressed person cannot will themselves out of being depressed. They can't think themselves out of being depressed. But if you look at the work by Dr. Chris Palmer and Dr. George Reed, you address their metabolic health, assuming that they have poor metabolic health to start with, because I'm not suggesting that poor metabolic health is the sole cause of depression, but it's definitely an underlying enabler. You address their metabolic health, improve their metabolic health, and suddenly their emotional resilience is improved, their mental resilience is improved, and they're able to face up to whatever might be causing their depression far more effectively. They note a statistically significant difference. And so that's what I want to do, because that's where I am. That's the help I need. So that's the problem that I need to solve for myself. I need something that is going to give me the right coaching, the right guidance, the right support to get through the season of our lives and be better off for it rather than worse off. Because those are my choices. I can let this wipe me out, and in the long term, my son then pays because I won't be able to look after him as effectively as I should. Or I can acknowledge that this is difficult. I can acknowledge that this needs attention. And I can set about trying to figure out how to solve that problem, to get myself the coaching support that I need, to get myself the emotional support to make sure that I am still able to look after me, my self-care, because I know that that underpins and dictates my ability to look after him. I cannot look after him if I'm compromised. I cannot give him the quality of life, the time, the attention, the love that he deserves and needs if I am compromised. Therefore, I have to make sure that I'm still looking after myself. And so we're going to build something which is not a million miles different from what we already have in action. It's going to be a slight adjunct, a slight pivot. But we're going to build something for the parents, for children with special needs, to help support them emotionally, to help coach them through the difficulty that they're trying to navigate, and still be able to look after themselves, to still be able to take care of their own personal self-care from an emotional and metabolic health standpoint. That's what we're doing, sharing some stuff in the coming weeks. It is a pivot again. It was an unintended pivot, but it is the reality of life. This is what I'm facing. This is what I have to face up to. I can't pretend my way out of it. I can't pretend my way around it. this is the reality that I'm facing. This is the hand that I've been dealt, and I need to do what I can with it. So that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully, in doing so, it becomes helpful and useful to others as well. Thanks, everyone.